how that related with like cameras or something. I can't remember.
The camera balls that the big brain guy has.
Oh, yeah, fucking. Oh god damn it! What's his name again?
Starts with an A.
Angstrom Levy. Yeah, Angstrom.
That's the guy.
That guy.
So yeah. Now you're machine heading. Robot head.
He's becoming the robot.
Machine heads.
Yep.
Is it really?
Now it's better.
Does it sound cool at least? Machine Head's voice actor and the thing that they did with that actually sounded pretty fucking dope, not gonna lie. I liked how they did the cadence with him.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Watch out for that guy. He's the smartest rock you'll ever fucking find.
Then they're gonna go and make money. Yeah, whoever decided to just like auto tune all that shit and the way they did it. Yeah. Great job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Makes me wonder if he is like legitimately just like a dude who put his brain into a computer, or if he's like just a computer that has its fucking computer parts attached to a normal body, or what. I don't know. He's definitely.
I'm sure they say something about it in the comic. I've yet to actually read it.
Maybe. Fair enough. I haven't read it because I don't like rape, and I'm really glad they decided to fucking change that plot point from the comic to the show. That shit was not okay. But on a separate note, that Conquest arc, when he shows up and then blows a fucking blood bubble heart at Mark out in space, that was a little extra sus, especially after he started whispering in his ear saying, "I'm so lonely" and whatnot. But, you know, that's just the par for the course of an old man on top of a child.
Yeah, he's in college now. He's a grown adult. He can make grown adult decisions.
You're right. Yeah, but he'd still be very much so robbing the cradle when it comes to that dude probably being like 800 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Old.
I mean, Twilight was a trend. Some people are into that.
Yeah, that's still the girls thing. I don't particularly affiliate. Anyways,
I don't either.
So
it's
what was
stuff.
chapter that left off with? Because I blew through all of the last week's chapters and this week's chapters in a little bit.
So last week's reading ends with Uncle Enzo giving YT the dog tags. The next chapter starts with YT getting the job from the glass eye guy. A very poignant little line from him somewhere in here was just like, because she asks him, "Why the hell don't you ever introduce yourself?" or like, "What the hell's your name?" or whatever, because she can't remember it. And he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just that one guy." And I feel like that's what Stevenson just like thinking is like, "Yeah, I got this guy with a glass eye in the mob. What's his name? Fuck it." He's not going to tell anyone. He's just that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? I mean, he's recognizable, but he's not exactly like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't believe I still struggling between the idea of if this is a genuine take on cyberpunk stuff, or if it's like actually being ironic with the majority of its material. Can't tell, because there's some stuff that's like, yeah, it's kind of.
Yep. Feel like I lost people.
He died.
You died. He's back.
I can't tell what the word would be for this, but like it self-deprecating, I think, is just the general vibe of a lot of cyberpunk media, because everybody's a fucking, nihilistic to begin with anyways.
Everybody is a cyborg or a robot or doesn't know what it means to be human or what the meaning of life is, yeah.
Or high as shit out of their fucking mind all the time.
Well, those people seem to be having fun.
So, What do you guys think SnowCrash actually is? Because it's some type of particle that's small enough to be on the scale of like hormones and stuff,
It's a virus,
but it has some sort of thing that reprograms people's brains or some shit.
Yeah, it's a virus or a meme. So they were harvesting the blood from the cultists to spread the SnowCrash. David is specifically susceptible to SnowCrash because he knows how to code, which is why YT breaks her mom's computer.
Yeah, and there's a certain inherent understanding that the brain would like comprehend and start putting whatever those directions are in that white noise.
Yeah, if you're a nerd who knows how to code, then you're susceptible to SnowCrash.
It's gotta involve some biblical aspects too. It just has to. Something from
and there was
creation.
Well, there was that neat little line about is SnowCrash a religion, a virus, or a drug? And I don't remember who says.
What's the difference?
Is that Juanita's line or who is that one?
Anita.
Was Juanita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I thought that was Juanita.
That was a good one.
She was like, "What?" I was like, "That's an interesting take."
I thought that was a clever one.
I'm surprised they haven't mentioned anything at all throughout the entire series so far. Throughout the whole book. That's just saying memes. Like the word hasn't been dropped a long time, even though that's like the entire idea of linguistics they're talking about.
I don't think meme as a popular word was like a thing at that point.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Because people in the 90s shared memes. That was definitely like an internet niche thing.
They shared memes, but they didn't pick up on the word. People didn't start talking about memes until
they didn't call them that.
Yeah. Or at least not the way that we talk about them.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I have till 8 o'clock today, and then I gotta get running early. We can do it. I believe in us.
What are you gonna do?
I got a couple family things I gotta take care of. Late for some reason.
Oh, okay. I've got my girly friend coming home relatively soon, and we're gonna make dinner and whatnot.
Yeah,
nice.
Let's see here. So she broke her computer. No. You said the last scene was either the computer breaking or the dog tag sharing.
Dog tag sharing was the last chapter from last week. This week we end with YT going home and breaking her mom's computer with her trophy.
Gotcha. Now I plowed through all of it, so I can't fucking remember where that stream of consciousness goes, as in like how we got from that to this. And there's a lot of stuff, but I didn't take any notes this time. And it was all just a lot of, the majority of it being the nerd talk with biblical study. And then YT having her shenanigans with Mr. Robot.
With the mob.
Yeah.
And the wheelchair guy, yeah. So, and then also the mob hired YT to go to the cult to pick up a suitcase, I guess, full of SnowCrash or blood. And then who does she deliver it to?
Well, there was a church, I think, where they took
she picks it up from the cult.
Suitcase to the church. Yeah,
no,
and then she gives it to
a
father
from
of
the
some
cult.
kind. Okay.
No, doesn't she?
And then she takes it to another church, though.
Does she?
Yeah, she takes it to another church, and then it's like a father who just basically steals the fucking briefcase from, goes into his office and does the programming, because they all have to get in a certain sequence and then put in the vial, and then it gives them a shot before they inhale it and whatnot. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Honestly, not sure. But if you say so.
That sounds right, yeah.
No. I respect my authority. Let's see here. Cheese. Cheddar Rice Crisps. Those sound fucking amazing right now. Boys, I haven't had any solid food today. I've just been
Dang.
pounding down fucking
That's not good.
calorie shakes. No, just I'm trying to do a little bit more of the specialized diet type stuff where I'm losing fat but also gaining muscle. So I need like really specific calorie intake.
So you're counting carbs and calories and things, watching your macros.
Just making sure that I stay under a certain number for carbs and fats specifically, even though I'm more lenient with the fats.
So keto.
Yeah, kind of for the most part. Not like hard, but yeah.
Oh, page
All right, I think I'll
235
just
is where that happens. The Reverend Dale Thorpe.
Yeah. And then the lady at the desk was like, "Can you do mine next, please?"
Oh,
I wonder what kind of like high you get from snorting SnowCrash, the blood of other cultists that have already like coped with, well, not coped, but because it seems like from the description of David's symptoms at least, is like he's fucking constantly spazzing out, but eventually, from what it sounds like, they like get over it and then are able to relax eventually, and then they have like this altered mind state, but they get used as blood bags for sending out more and more SnowCrash to other people. You think it's like something that they just can continually do, where they snort each other's blood and then get another high, or what?
Well, the one lady that's like really nice to YT, she's saying that like she is no longer coding or something like that. She's just getting blood drawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they do that.
I think
At
it's
some
a
point, they just,
one-time.
I don't know if one time, but at some point they just get, they're not able to function that way, and then they just sort of chill out on the commune.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
After their veins been blown out. Whereas my veins aren't blown out, to be honest. I used to do a lot of what is it, plasma donations and stuff twice a week.
Oof.
So I've
Dang.
got scars on both of my arms from doing
They
that
pay you
a
at least?
lot. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like $110 a week.
Oh, nice.
It just takes like 2 to 3 hours a day to do it. So it's kind of, you have to make sure that if your time is worth very little and you have plenty of it, then it's no brainer to go and fucking do that. But
You got blood to
my
spare.
time is very, very quickly becoming more and more rare. It is what it is. I would figure that those like bags of tortilla chips would be next to the fucking salsas and stuff in the Latin America aisle, but I guess it's just not. Like, there's noodles and stuff, but there's no chips. Might
There's
be down
noodles
with
next to the
some of the
salsa.
Well, it's they got the marinara right next to that though too. Oh,
Makes more
man,
sense.
guys, some sausage and some delicious jalapeno cheddar. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that.
That's fine.
Well, the whole. No, that's probably ahead. Damn. All the stuff that's like fresh in my head that I can actually like pop off for like conversational bits is the stuff unprompted, is the stuff that because I did an oopsies and I did that. Spill. Prompt me with something else. Prompt us. Prompt us. There's
Prompt
another
us.
person here.
Oh no, I got it. I gotta pick up my slang.
Cap, you still here, buddy?
Yes, sir. I read like 10, no,
Cap,
however
you
many
still here,
chapters.
buddy?
I think, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool.
Let's see.
see.
I think I will get.
8 chapters. I read 8 chapters and then I
I can
listened to
hear.
the last 2.
Okay, so they speak in tongues.
Yeah, physical copy. And
Yeah. I like doing both.
so, are we in agreement that Sumerian is tongues, or Sumerian is Adam Eve speak?
Whatever it is, Babel is tongues.
Okay.
Then there's the thing that like tongues is some way to like transcend language and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Juanita does another thing where we can make the joke about Catholics aren't Christians because he asks him if she believes in Jesus, and then she gives like a very non-committal answer.
Oh. She said that she wasn't actually even Catholic, didn't she? I was pretty sure she said that she didn't even really affiliate directly,
Well,
but it was like her family.
according to Hero, she's creating her own branch of the Catholic Church, and she has very Catholic sort of sensibilities, which is like the thing about how she's very comfortable with there being like sort of magical thinking or like faith or like not having sure answers for things.
If you have coupons, press coupon. System processing. Swipe or insert.
Damn, that thing stuff like that.
That is a very loud
I'm about out of here,
self-checkout
boys.
machine.
Those haunt me in my dreams. I worked there for 4
Tell me
years.
about it. It's. I swear to God, they make these things louder every year.
I got sound pads with those. I joined the Kroger Discord because I'm still in there even though I quit. But you know, I learned.
You what?
Which one did you quit?
Kroger.
Yeah,
What did it do?
Oh.
Hey, what's up, dog?
Yeah, sorry, I'm late, y'all.
You
No
read
worries.
the chapters?
I listened to them.
Oh, good.
Most
Yeah.
of them. I think
That's good enough.
I think I got to 30. Was it 34?
Yep.
Yeah, I said I think we got there. It's certainly in the 30s.
Yeah, YT goes home and breaks her mom's computer.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. That was like the last thing I read.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right, you're all caught up.
Sweet.
All right. So, what's your favorite couplet from Sushi K?
Oh Christ! I'd have to look back at them. I'm actually really bad at remembering quotes.
His rap was garbage.
His rap was great.
Sushi K's rap was
It was
garbage.
very.
Sushi K is the second best thing in this book.
That we agreed it was the best.
It was very 90s.
No.
That was before
No.
that was before YT broke her mom's computer and said you should say thank you.
Have you even said thank you?
Exactly.
Start
Yeah.
calling her VT. Fancy.
It's also very nice to her boyfriend Roadkill. He was like, I'm gonna get him a job.
Yeah, looking out. She's always looking out.
Then she makes fun of Hero for still being obsessed with Juanita.
What is it with so far it's only 2 books, but so far both books have included some amount of pro-Latina propaganda.
It's a trend. I actually don't know if this one's pro.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read that for you.
No, like Juanita's a bitch.
That's true.
Yeah, she's also. Yeah, she's interesting.
I don't like Juanita at all. This is much less pro-Latina propaganda.
Yeah, she's kind
okay.
of odd bird. Not awful, but she's kind of odd.
I just like the mysteriousness around her.
Half of Juanita's lines are just like, wow, you're a dumbass.
Yeah, that's what makes her funny.
Then again, half of, like, I'm pretty sure like all of YT's lines are, wow, you're a dumbass.
Yeah, it's definitely like half of what she says.
Yeah, but YT is a lot funnier. What else? He's talking about the computer, and they're talking about people being materialistic or people being materialists. And Hiro says, "What does that mean? They drive BMWs?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely am digging the whole senior dissertation on Mesopotamian and Mideast religions.
Mesopotamian as it relates to Babel and then all that stuff.
Yeah. What's funny is that I really got to take notes because there was something that he said in the process of explaining that was basically something that like Jordan Peterson talked about. Like it was almost line for line.
I think it's. I don't think it was what Grin was talking about. So Grin started talking about how he was either talking with someone or was reminded about how there's sort of a conversation about spells and language and like the power of words.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Yeah, I will say it's. I'm not sure if it's out of place, but it is a longer section than I was expecting. I'm enjoying it, but it is yeah, like a big kind of a shift from what everything else was.
About how Hero's turning into a gargoyle and having existential conversations with proto chat GPT.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
how this version of chat GPT doesn't just straight up lie to you.
Yeah, it'll
Like,
be like, I can't process that.
I can't speculate. I have no opinions. I'm a computer.
That's an analogy, isn't it? Yep.
What did you guys think about the whole Aniki, like the goddess story?
It was in one ear and out the other about how the different permutations of like the Adam and Eve story.
I was just wide-eyed because it's like incest and it's just like
Oh, that one.
yeah, that one, the incest one with the semen water.
Yeah, the semen water gives life. Of course.
Yeah. That was just very shocking, and I wonder
Hey, I just
how true that is.
Yeah, it was very, very Mesopotamian. That one was very Mesopotamian. Very on brand.
I'm reading Gilgamesh all over again. It's great.
Yeah. Cool. College I don't have to pay for.
Sumerian myths are not readable or enjoyable in the same sense that Greek and Hebrew myths are. Just the computer straight up saying it's shit.
I don't know. I enjoyed the Sumerian myths more than Sushi K's rap.
I'm pretty sure that's sacrilege.
I think I did too. I don't know. I like the history. It's very interesting.
Look, I just think it's really funny that Sushi K
Well,
really
he's
wanted to
religion
rap for the
too,
brothers, and then he goes to rap for the brothers, and he tells them all how he's better than them.
Hey, it's still a top 3 in the book, no doubt. It'll remain up
Yep.
there forever.
Classic Nipponese behavior. I simply want to perform for the ones that are inferior, so I can put them in their place. And then they got the narrator to do the fucking voice for every single line as well.
Yeah, but then he did
wow.
the exact same
Fantastic.
accent for the dude in the wheelchair, the monster truck.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I dig that he does the
No,
accents.
I
They're
don't
hilarious.
actually.
You know, it is a slightly different.
I
one,
think I genuinely think it's slightly different, yeah, because the Vietnamese sort of accent, it's like clipped more so. Like the end of some words are just like not pronounced, and that's just a Vietnamese thing. Because I used to work with a dude who was straight up fucking like moved here when he was a teenager and whatnot, and refused to actually learn the majority of the language because he could get by on what he knew. And he did talk very similar to that, where the what the fuck sort of shit, where he wouldn't even pronounce the K and fuck. And he did that for the dude in the van. And I was like, oh, you know what? That's actually kudos to him for getting it kind of accurate, even though it's not like I'd be a person who would actually give variable credit or valuable credit for something like that. I feel like I could notice that.
What up?
Sushi K sounded like a cartoon, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but he actually sounded like a real person. Hello.
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 It's Truck Norris. He's streaming
in
his
fact is Truck Norris.
fucking dash. Where you going, Truck?
I'm just out here trucking
Okay.
off,
Oh, okay.
going to Tennessee.
Oh, fun.
Hey, welcome to my
What's out
state.
there?
The best state ever.
I'm thinking of moving there.
You should. Everybody should. I moved here from Ohio. That's great.
Yeah, I
Well, my
live
thing
in.
is,
I drove some.
I'm in Florida, so the only thing is that like it's getting too expensive. I'm in the Tampa Bay area specifically too, so it's like everything went from affordable to like
That's
borderline New York
that's
prices.
what I did. I live down in Broward County in Fort Lauderdale, and I moved up here to Louisville, Kentucky. And my wife,
my family lives there.
my wife's family lives down around Knoxville, like around Johnson City area. So we're considering maybe relocating down that way. But
Nice.
it's bro, like me and my mom still lives in South Florida. We have like an identical apartment. Mine's in Louisville. She's paying like almost 4 times what I'm paying for the exact same 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
The traffic down there is fucking. I can't stand it.
Well,
All right.
we did learn something today about why Acidar keeps picking out Latino propaganda.
Why?
Florida.
Wait. Oh yeah, you know what?
Oh.
That's I can't even deny that. That's probably at least part of it. I mean, I'm also half Hispanic, so it's just on the mind.
Any of the southern states would qualify for that, then, wouldn't you say?
Texas is trying to throw him out, right?
Oh, good fucking luck. You kidding me?
They're trying.
Majority of them are goddamn ranchers. Let's see here. Cheese. Well, it's a good book. I wish I had more of a professional mind to steer a conversation for said thing.
Well, this actually kind of goes to something I meant. I said I'm reading it or I'm listening to it on the audiobook, and so I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not retaining it as much, or at least like I'm getting the story beats and I can like remember what happens. But when it comes to like, I'm already bad with specific quotes, and it's getting harder for me because I've listened to it versus like actually reading it.
I listen to it. The stuff I always retain is just whatever makes me laugh. So that's probably why like all the bits about just like chatting with the robot and in the library just like went in one ear and out the other. And then all the stuff that made me laugh was just YT and just her poking fun at like everyone that she meets.
I kind of remembered the robot a lot. I just because I found it. I don't know. I like the history of it, even if it was like boring. I was like locked in on that history. I don't know. That sounded very interesting to me to learn
Oh,
from.
there was a
robot.
bit where someone in the metaverse, I think, tries to flash Hero with the SnowCrash on like a scroll.
Oh yeah, it was at the beginning.
Oh
Wasn't
yeah,
it?
that was
yeah.
actually really cool. Like I'm
What was
the general concept of the like physical like reading a page and it creating like a mind virus of like that's actually a really cool idea. I've never seen that.
Talk about read
You
write
never-
memory, right?
You never saw Harry Potter 2? With
Well,
the basilisk?
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. And as soon as I said that, I thought of like 3 different Warhammer books that have that concept. But I guess maybe I just love it every time. I don't know. There's something very cool about like forbidden knowledge and things that, like it's very it's you know what? It's like a digital Lovecraftian thing. Cuz
Ooh.
it's like the like the like the knowledge that makes you crazy. Like the knowledge that's too much.
You see something that just breaks your brain, yeah.
Yeah, it's just once you read the thing, you're done though, and that's
They
like a
did
vaguely
kinda-
Lovecraftian thing.
I think they did touch on that a little bit because of how when they were talking about the most basic form of communication in this fucking tongues language and whatnot, it was communicated back and forth as circles and sticks or as ones and zeros. And who's to say that as soon as somebody does look at that script or that white noise sheet, that their brain isn't just immediately flooded with like millions and millions of like piles of script. But even though it is only just ones and zeros, that's just being crammed into their fucking brains. They realize and understand it all at once, and that's what's causing them to just kind of like, go fucking comatose and twitchy for a while before they're able to readapt as soon as their body's reprogrammed and whatnot.
Wasn't there also a bit where Hero's talking with the computer, and the computer says something about being binary, and Hero's like, "Oh, I binary thinking is everything I do," and then the computer itself tells him that his pun is shit.
I didn't catch that. That's great that the
He
librarian
said it in
has
a nicer way.
He makes some kind of pun about binary, and then the computer's like, "That joke sucked."
Fair enough. Let's see here. Starting to even. All right. Here's another talking point spill.
So David apparently, for as long as he has been out, has been sitting or lying down, just talking in tongues.
Oh yeah, is he still doing that?
Yeah.
That's when they find him. So, I'm not sure how much. Does anyone else get the impression that the book is doing like a Pulp Fiction kind of thing, where it's jumping around with time, or do you think everything is sort of linear?
I kind of think it's still
I think
there.
everything is happening at the same time, just from different perspectives.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Fuck, now I'm gonna have to go back over.
Because there was a bit in one of the earlier chunks we were reading where I think it's around the time Hero kills the businessman in the metaverse, where it like jumps from where he is because he's rescuing YT from the prison, and then the next chapter he's back in the metaverse dealing with the businessman at the whatever Black Star or whatever the hell the hotel's called.
Black Sun.
Black Sun.
Black Sun.
So like it jumps a bit, but I'm not sure if it's ever doing flashbacks because it never seems like anything is like expressly before anything else, but it doesn't seem like it's after either.
Maybe there's just like a gradient, like a loose this generally happened at the same time, and then this other stuff generally happened at the same time, and then they progress a little bit and then go back and forth and they progress a little bit. Because there's a few different perspectives now between, granted, there's a couple of throwaway characters, if you will, like the dealer for the bike, the John, I think his name was, the dude who started the franchisee from, I can't remember his name, but Mr. Papa John. And then dude thought he was hot shit delivering those papers and then wound up being like, scolded by Big Man himself because he was like, hey, you fuck.
The
I wanted
nerd,
this shit for a living.
What's his name? Iron Pumper or whatever?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, isn't he the one that's like effectively driving YT around? Because every time YT is going someplace, she's hitching a ride on like his car.
Yes, but also his car isn't the one that's like going into the fine details of whatever shenanigans she gets up to, like, making the deals with those drug dealers and whatnot and actually getting the fucking SnowCrash.
Yeah, he's not important enough for that.
No. he is able to give her a little bit of a boost, but she does literally everything.
Yep.
Because that little dipshit can't be trusted.
Yeah, you can't even follow instructions on a piece of paper.
Crazy.
If you were Uncle
But
Enzo, would you trust him?
probably not.
Nope.
Probably break his fucking kneecaps. Give him a new
Nope.
pair of shoes. Surprised he didn't, to be honest. Granted, with how nice and whatnot he's supposed to be, but the very, very sharp turn of attitude that he had in that interaction really made me think that he was gonna fucking die, and I was surprised that he didn't. So,
I don't even think Enzo talked to him. He just sent the glass eye guy to do it. And the glass eye guy told him that he was going to shut up and he didn't have to say he was sorry because we know he's sorry.
yeah. I don't even want you to fucking talk to me. Yeah. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Uncle Enzo.
Good old Uncle Enzo.
There was
Think he
another
sells
bit
stuffed crust?
about like the does he sell stuffed crust? I don't know. I'm sure there's government cheese in this world.
As you were, sorry.
I will say there has to be a little bit of like a suspension of disbelief thing for me, because some of it is so obtuse. I'm like wondering, like, how did it get that way? Like, how did America get to the point where pizza deliveries are like that? Like,
Well, the mafia took over.
yeah, but I mean, like, I assume the mafia still knows how to like do business.
This is business.
More realistic than you think.
It's a good business.
More realistic.
It works.
This is like
So-
the cartels transporting avocados.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a real world fucking example. Like,
Actually,
think about it like this, right? There are certain drug dealers that will basically subsidize a specific business that they personally enjoy because they're like, I love Mama's pizza. It's delicious pizza. She doesn't know how to pay her fucking bills, but it's so about it. And then, keeps that place from going underboard or underwater by buying all of her shit for her. But it's literally all paid for with drug money, and then winds up making more money on top of that because he's funding a fucking pizzeria.
Yeah, or that time that
really,
Walter White brought a laser tag thing, or almost did.
it's really not that far out, but I feel where you're coming from.
The part about it that still throws me is like
Money
what the hell
laundering.
the U.S. government is doing, because we also know that YT's mom works for whatever conglomeration of the Secret Service, the like NSA, the CIA. The hell else is it? Because it's what is it? It's like EBGOC or something, which is what executive branch. I didn't even write it down. Executive Branch General Operations Command, made up of the FBI, the Federal Marshals, the Secret Service, and the Special Forces. And God knows why they still exist, considering the state the country is in.
Yeah, like,
Well,
what
they might
do they
be
do?
they might be idiocracy style, like turned into strip clubs and stuff. You never know.
Like, that would make more sense than what they're doing, because right now it's like, what, they run the library or something?
Well, they talk about how they don't have any laws, like, constantly. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, what would they even do?
What are they enforcing, basically? They would have to be running something like a way different business, but they're still called the same thing. Just like the
They'd be
mafia's
almost-
running pizza.
They'd be almost as
Yeah.
useless as they are now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
With the exception that I think the author is trying to say that, like, those organizations are competent.
I would imagine those ones probably do private security for certain enclave areas. I don't know what
Yeah,
else I would do.
They've got competition with whatever the private army and the private navy and I guess the Crips.
In the future, gangs are privatized.
Are you saying they're not privatized now?
I mean, No, you know what? That's completely fair. I didn't even realize that you can just throw enough money at them and they'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll go shoot that guy for you. Or we'll watch your shit because it's already a protection racket as is.
What else is it? Juanita's hired out Bob's security or Bob's army.
So, Raven's got a fucking nuke strapped to his forehead, right?
Yep, and has seemingly disappeared entirely from the book.
For now.
Yep. Well, it seems they may have jumped the shark a touch by allowing that motherfucker to run around with a nuke.
I found the bit in the book that got me pretty good when they're in one of the churches and they've got the blazing trinity of Jesus, Elvis, and the Reverend Wayne.
Who is Reverend Wayne?
That's a very good question.
I'm too young for this.
So am I.
Oh, wow. You're the old head. Oh, chicken. I wrap my chicken individually before putting it in the oven in little tinfoil pouches with all their seasonings and stuff so that they don't dry out while they're in the oven. It's fucking nice.
Extra meal prep.
No, just making tonight's chicken salad dinner by tossing some boobies in the oven before I wrap them and whatnot.
Nice. You guys got no idea who Reverend Wayne is, but importantly, Jesus gets top billing. So it's Jesus, and then he's above Elvis and whoever Reverend Wayne is.
I could swear I remember them saying something about Elvis like shooting JFK or some shit in the book.
I recall that too, yep.
It feels like it was like a very quick throwaway line of some kind.
I think they also said that he saved the America from communism, ended the Cold War by shooting JFK.
What the fuck? Jesus. Ending communism by shooting the guy that said he was going to disband and fucking destroy the FBI and the CIA and all the other three-letter agencies. Makes all of this sense. Hey, as long as they're plot.
What's the opposite of rolling in your grave? Like when you're super happy.
That's just being content.
Yeah,
Resting peace.
He's about to be contented as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty optimistic about what's going on. Not to go down a rabbit hole.
Please do.
For current,
I've got nothing else to say about the chapters.
Current year thing. Yeah, sure. Let's just bullshit about what's actually going on.
Yeah, what's your favorite story from current year?
How does it
current
relate to
week?
SnowCrash?
It doesn't have to relate to SnowCrash.
SnowCrash has been crashed.
You can probably relate it to SnowCrash. Somewhere.
If you want to relate to SnowCrash, go ahead. But tell me what you've been enjoying this week.
The world's gonna end in 6 years or something like that, based on Tim's new video.
The AI.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I don't know why.
I'm gonna relate to SnowCrash.
This afternoon, I've been somehow just flooded with videos about like AI art again.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
And I've gone on the whole roller coaster of like, this is gonna be interesting and neat and like cool things are gonna come out of it. And then AI art just keeps producing shit, and the worst people are pro, and then the really annoying leftoids who are anti, who I'd normally be like ideologically hating, are making very good points about how trash it is.
Okay.
And like now I'm completely flipped. I'm like, yeah, AI art's pretty garbage.
I've been using it for 4 years, the art, and it's improved some with the prompts, but it's just never gonna be as good as a human touch.
Yeah, AI is going to be a tool. It's going to be like the combustion engine, people or the internet. Like people who learn to integrate it with their stuff, they're going to succeed and become more productive, and the people who can't are going to go.
I was on that train too, but there's also like the line or thinking that AI is currently not profitable. It's being like propped up by investor money on the promise that maybe it'll be good. And it's not getting better at a rate that matters. So at one point, does like the investor money pull out, and then it just all goes to shit?
I don't know. They spend trillions and trillions of fucking dollars on a lot of other bullshit. What's to stop them from doing with that?
The one I will say though is that like the Sunlow or whatever music, that's actually better than most of this shit that comes out. It's better than all the crap I've heard from SoundCloud.
Dang.
So so that one, maybe that's gonna be the one that kills the starving artists. I don't know.
It'd be unfortunate.
Now it's like I've been using it to look up like Pokemon stuff because like there's 1,025 of the fuckers. Like there's no way any sane person can remember them all.
That's
So
what's nice about it.
I'm writing a couple short stories, and then I'm like, what would be in this region, with these kind of climates and blah blah blah, and it it spits out whatever.
I mean, I like that. I think relating it back to SnowCrash, there you go. You can relate it back to ChatGPT bot. Hero's using it exactly right how it should be used, I guess, as a like tool for research. And I mean, that's as much as I think you can go realistically.
Yeah.
I don't see money in it.
Well, that'd be nicer than whatever the Google AI search engine is, where it'll tell you like exactly what you want to hear all the time. Like, how many rocks should I eat a day? And it'll tell you should eat 3 rocks a day for proper gut health.
Yeah. So, has anybody heard anything about anybody using the API for Grok and turning it into essentially just like a better version of Alexa or Siri, and porting that into an app on their phone or something, so they can just access it without needing to necessarily type every single message?
That's a lot. I haven't heard any of that.
I haven't heard anything like that one either.
Okay. I think I might eventually try to take a crack at that, because that's basically how I've been using it as well while I drive and whatnot, asking it random fucking dumbass 3-year-old questions that I have, like what was the last one?
Oh no!
Hold on, I
In
haven't
Samaria,
changed.
did they speak in tongues?
No, it was. Hold on. Let me see what my inquiry was. It was something about. What? Yo, they cleared my account.
Huh?
Hold on. That's weird. Let's see here. Oh man, all my conversations got wiped. Without.
Oh no.
Damn, that fucking sucks.
Oh no! They erased your emails, not your yoga classes.
Well,
I wish there was a day to
I
delete
had a
all
lot
from
of.
my emails.
But did they wipe it like with a cloth?
Oh, they wiped it with whatever they used to fucking,
They
make
acid
sure.
washed it.
Yeah, they got some intern to do it, and he was asking on 4chan how to do it.
Well, I mean, 4chan got hacked. 4chan's gone now.
So sad. Rip.
Is that what it is? Is that why it's not popping up?
Yeah,
Is it
Grok's
still
not
down?
working because they hacked 4chan.
Because
What?
I heard that it was back up, but just very slow.
It hasn't loaded at all for me today when I've looked it up. It'll get like halfway there and then it just doesn't. So is both Grok and 4chan having issues?
That's not
Sounds like a
suspicious.
conspiracy.
Yeah. This whole time, it's actually just been running off of like some 4chan database.
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would be pleasantly surprised.
What other current events things are people having fun with?
I'm apparently preemptively banned from competitive Pokemon, and I have no idea why.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
like
I
the card
literally
game or like Pokemon Champions?
Yeah, like the actual like video game like tournament stuff. I try to make an account, and no matter what I do, it's like because of suspicious activity, we can't make your account. And they're like, okay, do it from your phone, like off cellular, like get off Wi-Fi. Don't use a VPN. Blah blah. I do all that, and it still won't do it. So
Are you trying to do it like through VGC or like which one are you using?
Yeah, I was trying to do it through VGC. I've tried on my I actually haven't tried on my phone. Well, I have, but haven't done it since.
Have you been making fun of pronouns? That'll get you.
That's true.
Like,
You got me.
yes, but not
Yeah,
like
well.
too openly.
Well, that's how you got blacklisted.
Ugh. It sucks because what my plan was to use Grok and just come out with like an absolutely out of pocket team that nobody predicts that counters all the meta. Because basically everybody right now in the competitive scene is like with any game is basically using the same team, which is like slight variations. So like again, there's 1,025 of them. Nobody's gonna be able to remember them all. So it's like, okay, Grok, give me a team that does this, that, and the other thing.
I thought there was like a fraction in like the actual meta because of whatever it was, Pokedex Gate or whatever.
I have no idea. I actually only just like jumped back into it. Like I know, like one day I noticed that it was live streaming, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
If you just want to play, you can always hop on Showdown. I'm sure they're not going to track you.
Oh, true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I literally just play like on emulators now because I sold all my handhelds and I don't have a Switch.
Is VGC, I think you have to use Sword and Shield, whatever the new one is.
Yeah, Scarlet Violet.
Scarlet Violet. But yeah, if you just want to play and you don't want to deal with the pain in the ass of breeding Pokemon, you can just go on Pokemon Showdown. They're not going to track you at all. I mean, Smogon had that issue with a bunch of pedophiles that were using their server stuff. They're not going to kick them. Why would they kick you?
Word? I don't know if that's the greatest
I'm not insinuating
selling point.
anything. I mean it in the sense that they're not going to kick you.
That is a great selling
Yeah, no,
point.
just like cool. I get to hang out with pedophiles. Awesome. Sounds like a good time.
It's mostly going to be 10-year-olds, right?
Ugh.
Actually, I have no idea. I don't even know who the hell plays Pokemon anymore.
It's all.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
all
it's like
fucking
20-year-old, whatever.
Yeah, it's all 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
We're all old.
Yeah, so all those guys on Smogon are actually playing themselves. Yeah. There's no kids there for them. I still can't decide whether or not this is a pro or con. Other news. I also gone on the entire roller coaster of the Carmelo Anthony thing.
Oh, God.
Tim actually convinced me for like 3 degrees of rationality of like, if the guy did pick a fight and then he got stabbed, would it be self-defense? And then, I don't know, everyone jumped down Tim's throat about how dumb of a take that was.
Yeah, no, I hated that take. I am one
Everybody said he was trolling. It was insane.
I agreed 100% with Matt Walsh's take.
I did
He
not
tried to
watch
the
Walsh.
goalpost to sit on the fence like he does with every other thing, and then gets even more annoying.
I mean, I think it made sense.
Walsh or Tim. Tim's point was like, if you invite someone into your home and then you threaten them and then they kill you in self-defense, like quote unquote, does that check out? I would think it does, because at some point that's them attempting to, or that's me in that hypothetical situation attempting to do entrapment, right?
Yeah, but I just don't think it was actual like.
It's not entrapment.
I'm just not sure it's self-defense.
Yeah, he didn't fear for his life.
Or at the very, I just don't think it's like an unreasonable escalation of force.
I'm talking about Tim's hypothetical. The story that's actually coming out is absolutely a case of like, it's all Carmelo being terrible.
Yeah. So exactly, like honestly, when Tim just laid out like the facts of what people were getting like wrong about it, that just kind of to help me kind of frame it a little better. Like he's still guilty, but I don't think it's like as I don't think it's like a first degree thing with intent. Like, look, I carry a knife on me everywhere I go, and a gun most places. Like that's not intent to commit a murder. I'm 5'2".
Technically, because Texas law specifically, that doesn't matter. That's just all that boils down to. Though.
Yeah, so like I just don't think that like it's like some kind of second degree murder or something of that degree. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what how those degrees really work, but it was like as far as I can tell, it's not like an intentional thing just because he had a knife.
It's not self-defense, and it drives me insane that people even dare to make the comparison to fucking Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh, that's the most
Oh yeah.
like
Oh
That
yeah.
was
lukewarm,
S9. Yep.
double-digit IQ like.
Oh, you
take
give him
I've
double
ever heard.
digit for that one?
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, I mean,
that's
they got to be able
That's
to talk,
generous.
type on the keyboard. That's about it. They just type wrong things constantly.
But how
Tim's
can it be
approach
Kyle
is annoying
Rittenhouse if he didn't cross
because-
state lines?
Yeah.
Tim's approach is annoying because he started out with a hot take that everybody thought was dog shit. Now he's walking it back to more of a fence sitter position, like he's been waiting for the facts the whole time. He's just like changing his stance on the issue to like now he's more neutral than he was initially.
Well,
Well,
is
he
that
does that
because
with
he got?
everything.
Is that because he
No.
got more information?
It was because he got
always
more
does that.
information. Tim's initial take was absolutely neutral. It wasn't. Tim didn't
He
even
said,
take
"Wait for the
sides with it.
facts."
He said, wait for the facts, and I think his case was like hypothetical, and even brought it out was like, if Metcalf like instigated a fight, maybe Carmelo has a self-defense case. And I think that's perfectly reasonable as far as takes go. But
So-
then we got more information out of it, and now we're here.
Now what makes it worse is his family bought an $800,000 house with those donations. So it's like, yeah, those aren't
That's-
nice people. Those are obviously, you can
Well,
tell their mindset with that.
The quartering posted a video stating that the neighbors claim they bought a brand new Escalade and shit with the GoFundMe money or whatever.
Yeah, but
Like some
Jeremy's
didn't do nothing
retarded.
behavior.
That's true, but Jeremy's also retarded.
They're all retarded. I think Tim is just as retarded as Jeremy.
Oh, them's fighting words.
I don't know about that one, Chief, just because of how, in at least my personal experience with Jeremy, he tends to be like extremely opinionated right out the gate, and then use a lot of very hot button phrasing when it comes to addressing stories and whatnot. He sounds like a Vice reporter, you know what I mean, and like not a very good way. And Tim phrases things in a rather like neutral. Here's what happened. If this, then I think that. But otherwise, it's not him just like proposing a narrative and then throwing it out there.
Ironic example, since Tim was a Vice reporter.
I know,
He
right?
used to be more so that way, but lately he's far more sensationalist than he's ever been.
Jeremy?
Tim.
Yeah.
Jeremy is a grifter, 100%. Like he started out as like a fucking claw machine YouTuber. That's why his name is the Quartering, because he
No,
used
his
to
name's
play
the
claw
Quartering. His name's the Quartering because he played Magic the Gathering, got banned, and I swear he Googled antonyms for gathering. I swear to Christ, that's how he got the name. I have no proof for this, but if you Google gathering, search antonyms, like quartering is gonna be like the third thing down because it has to deal with people getting drawn and quartered. Jeremy is retarded and it drives me up a wall.
Dang.
I've seen a video where he was talking about him starting out doing claw machines and
That part is true, yes. But the quartering name has to deal with the opposite of gathering.
I've never watched him
And he-
once
he
in my
worked-
life.
he talked about his
Bless
job
your
where he
soul.
worked for a marketing company would strategize on like media advertising and clickbaiting. So it's like he's already plugged into what makes the algorithm work, and he just applied a news filter to dog shit content, and now he's the Quartering that you have now. Is still shit, but I don't know. I was much more of a fan of Tim, but the more things go on like that, I canceled my membership and
And yet here you are.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
for free, by the way.
Okay.
I only
Tell me how
canceled
long
when
have
he
you been
said
on
they
that
were he was quitting.
freestyle?
Then I re-upped when
They
he wasn't
tend
quitting.
to, what's it called? If you overstay your visa, so to say, then they kind of go through and just like cleanse the masses that have let their subscriptions lapse and whatnot.
That's fine. They're not doing that though, at the
No.
moment.
No, I don't think they do. I have no idea how often they even check here.
I mean, I don't want to like spread what I know about it, but there's some situational stuff where they're not quite able to at the moment. But
It's hard
regardless
with
of
a
that, it's
Discord
like
server.
when I started out because the whole mantra of like let's affect culture, let's do this was that's powerful and that's important and
Yeah.
that stuff should be focused on. But then it very quickly turned into like, okay, the only culture I want to influence is like this shitty whiny music that I make and like skateboard culture that's one of my hobbies. And that's literally all it is. Like he just had that warehouse built into a skate park and he's already remodeling it and spending like an absurd amount of money to do so. And like that's
So-
not influencing any culture. Skateboarding's dead, nobody cares about it. It's just him funding his dumb fucking lame hobbies.
All
And,
right, what would you suggest then?
I mean, there's an infinite other amount of things that you can do to like influence culture, but to pretend like you're not just funding one of your only couple handful of hobbies is kind of ridiculous.
So here's the thing, right? We have no fucking idea how much money he has thrown at other random creative endeavors. And then there's those restrictions with being able to give out money because of like tax reasons and whatnot, where you literally just can't give people 10 grand or whatever he's complained about several times on the show. But regardless, I guess the more important part of the whole fight for the culture and whatnot is to not make it a virtue signal more important than actually doing it. It's like we're in a book club right now, right? And there's a fitness club, there is other hobbies and whatnot, and there's a gun club and all that shit. And I'm sure if you pulled in enough people, it would get more significance and be able to get itself off the ground and fund itself if in some hypothetical future. But for the most part, that's like whichever direction that you want to pick, just pick one. And granted, maybe you don't like music or you don't like skateboarding, but that's just the direction that he chose for trying to do something different from the mainstream and ungayifying everything, like how everything has been very radically gayed
What has
in the
he
past 10 years.
What has he done of any significance in within skateboarding other than like attempt to buy a DIY that he was excluded from socially?
I mean, he has a skateboard business where he's selling domestically made boards. So that's an American
Yep.
company, that American jobs.
Yeah,
Something
completely
that he believes
circumventing
that
all
goes
the
on.
checks.
I mean, you can bitch and moan all you want, dude, but
No, I would
Certainly
say
a pretty
he's
good example.
like literally the fact
No,
that
I
we're
can-
all
I
here is the changing of the culture. Like I'm selling my home and I might be moving up to Tennessee so I
Huzzah.
can like actually, you know, do it. Florida's right now. This area is getting like way too commercial. Like Pinellas is the closest thing to older Florida, and there's more than 1 million people on this tiny ass little peninsula. So I gotta get out.
I do kind of like how he's not taking everything. He's leaving room for other people to join to start something like he has, and I think we just need that initiative. We need people to start doing stuff, and we do have people start doing stuff, but it's just slower right now.
there's 2 podcasts that came out of this Discord.
Yeah, it starts
I don't
slow.
watch
book.
either of them, but
I feel like it's
And
gonna
a comic
take off
book.
soon.
are they?
There's all
I don't
kinds
know.
of little small creative endeavors that have been sprouting up here and there.
Yeah.
But we can't expect him to do all the work.
Fallout reference or
No, that's just
No?
me saying real shit, man.
That was stuff
You
that
always do
came
both.
out of the collective group of people that are here, not necessarily like what your membership dollars are going to like a skateboard company, sure, that's also profitable for a gain, and then like that warehouse with the skate park was just built, and it was an astronomical expense, and he's already having it refurbished and completely rebuilt by
Yeah, I
some
mean,
like well-known industry designer for skate parks.
Yeah.
For what?
And
Like
well,
skateboarding's
are
dead.
you
that's a
influence-
culture that he wants to bring back, or a culture that he's interested in.
yeah, like yeah,
His
it's
hobby.
not.
It's funding a hobby.
Okay,
I'd rather give Tim all my tax money, to be honest, rather than the federal government.
Yeah, I actually,
I like the Fed right now, though.
unironically enjoy the show. Like, if there's somebody I see eye to eye with politically,
That's
it's
fine, dude.
probably
I'm not
Tim.
trying to convince you to like join my opinion of Tim or whatever.
I'm just saying there's a reason why I'm here.
Just-
You know, it's
I find it useful in other realms.
I look at it like donating to
Like I said, I
cool like podcasts that I like with multiple people, and that's what I look at.
This is my small donation.
I was
to
a
make
fan of
America a
Daily
better place.
Wire for a long time until Daily Wire basically became like the mainstream. You know,
I'm
to me,
happy.
Tim is becoming part of that mainstream.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
that whole debacle with the DIY group, the whole
mean-
reason they didn't accept him is because DIY skaters are like a unique niche within skateboarding. They're smaller communities and they're typically anti-establishment to a fault, which is when Timcast wants to come in and fund a DIY skate competition and put massive bounties on the prize and to sponsor the event to people that are like them. That's disgusting. Timcast is corporation to people like that, and when they excluded him, he took it personally and turned it into like a war where he's like, all right, well, I'll just buy the DIY because he was socially excluded from that group of skateboarders that is his, like, I guess, local community.
I don't even
And he
think that
just
was
doesn't know
Tim's
how to
story
take
in action.
Yeah,
Didn't
like,
Tim
it's-
buy? Tim bought a lot that happened to have the DIY on it, right? And there was a building there. And then what was it? He bought it
Yeah.
because there was a bunch of concrete that was already down.
No, and I think they
That was-
pulled out
that was his
specifically
story
when they
after.
found out it was him. It wasn't like, you know,
So
they
you're-
tried and they denied him. Or
No,
something
that
like
was the story after the fact. Going into it, he announced that he wanted to try to put like a $20,000 top prize and sponsor boards and attend this DIY and put money into the event. And they were like, no, we don't want no part of it. Not necessarily because of his politics, but because they're anti-corporate, they're anti-sponsorship. They don't want like a big disgusting corporate brand all over everything. It like DIY skaters are a niche group within skateboarding. And they see him as the corporation trying to come in and buy them out, and they're not interested in it. He took it personally and
Yeah,
bought
okay.
the
Yeah,
DIY,
we got
and then
that.
in retrospect was like, well, you don't just buy it overnight. I was already in the works of buying it before they excluded me, which I don't necessarily believe.
I'm sorry, this is too many circles if I'm just pretending to be
Yeah.
retarded.
So here's wrong with that kind of assessment. What you say that, like, say Daily Wire and Tim are becoming the mainstream. What does success in the culture look like? Yeah, like, this is something that's happening kind of everywhere. Like hot Instagram models are now like getting all over like Warhammer miniatures and stuff, and painting Warhammer and stuff like that. Shit that, you know, like I was made fun of as a kid for being